Hello and welcome. This is Michele Christensen of OneNote Worthy Life, and this is a Plan With Me video for April 2019. I'm using OneNote for Windows 10, and I'm going to walk you through how I evaluate the past month and set new goals and plans for the upcoming month. Both March and April are pretty light months for me because my husband broke his leg in early March and had to have surgery. I'll tell you a little more about that later, but everything's going really good for him and for me. So let's get into it. If you're new here, if you don't know me, I'm Michele Christensen, and aside from being a YouTube creator, I'm also a blogger at OneNoteWorthyLife.com, and I host the largest OneNote group on Facebook, which is the OneNote Bullet Journal Facebook group. Now, I use OneNote to keep just about everything in my life, from very big things like medical issues to very little things like lists and things. So this is my favorite thing to talk about is OneNote. Now, as usual with my Plan With Me videos, I've already done this process, so this video is more of a walkthrough. And the reason I film after I've already done the process is because I do a lot of thinking and evaluating, kind of resetting over the course of a few days. And I can't really do that live on camera. And then by doing it afterwards, by filming this afterwards, I can give you a very concise walkthrough. So let's get into it. The first thing I do is I review the prior month, which in this case is March. So these were my business goals for OneNote Worthy Life. I had already set up my March plans when my husband had his accident, and so I had to kind of really scrap things and scale way down. So my first goal had to do with some old email lists that I've been working on deactivating. I'm no longer using them. This is indefinitely postponed until we get things a little more on track here. I did want to get my website about page done, and I didn't finish it, but I made progress on it. And I did want to post some videos this month. I only got 2 done, which is short of the 4 or more, or 5 even, that I get done every month, but at least something got done. Now, on to my personal goals. So one of my first goals every month is to decide what kind of calorie goal I have. I had gained some weight a while back, and I'm working on getting back to a healthy body weight. And so this is the amount I kind of want to under-eat by each day. So in March, I wanted to have a daily average of 260 negative per day, and I did hit this. And it's cool because like my weight and my body fat percentage are both improving month over month, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Now, for a long time, I've been working on my sleep. My sleep had gotten way off track, and for about 1.5 years, I've been working on my sleep. And I finally feel like in March, everything just clicked and that I found my magic formula. My sleep is great. I'm falling asleep quickly. I'm staying asleep. And yeah, it's just terrific. So there's not much more I can do with that. And in fact, I'm ready to set that aside and take on kind of the next big area. I do want to experiment with the hours I sleep, like when I go to bed and when I wake up, just to kind of see what best suits my lifestyle. Okay, the next goal has to do with my annual theme for 2019, which is Be Ready. And I did a separate video on this, which is linked in the description of this video. But basically, my theme for this year was to feel more ready for whatever life brings. And I broke it down into actionable steps, and I've been trying to just kind of tackle those little by little. And I decided that I wasn't going to do anything with that, just because it was already too chaotic of a month. Unless something came easily, and it just so happens I did make some progress on it, which is really cool. And oh, the last goal for the month is I had to get my dogs registered and all that stuff, and everything's good on that front. I got that done. So yeah, that was terrific. Then okay, so this is my March what else section. On this page, I talk about what what happened, good, bad, or indifferent, unexpected, different things that cropped up that affected how my month went. And obviously the big thing was that Chris broke his leg the first weekend of the month, so I scrapped almost my entire plan for the month. He had surgery mid-month, and as I said, he continues to improve every day, and I'm really grateful to have modern medicine at my disposal because they expect him to make almost a complete recovery. As I mentioned, my sleep's going really well, but I don't feel like my energy is where I want it to be. I had started trying to improve my sleep because I wanted to have more energy, so I'm going to start doing some other experiments to see what I can do to have more energy now that I know my sleep's not the problem anymore. And then the final thing is I feel like this accident has given me sort of a reset on things. Like I had to really winnow down to just what was absolutely critical, and it's given me some new focus. So in a certain sense, that was something good that came out of it. Another thing I do is I look at my March annual plan, and this is what I thought I would be doing when I set up my year. And this year I kept my plans really light, and right now I'm really glad I did that. I was planning on taking an East Coast trip sometime around now. I at least wanted to have it scheduled, but that is temporarily postponed until we get things a little more squared away on the home front. And then again, I had to take care of the dog's registration this month, and that got done as well. And then the final piece, here's my March calendar. Let me scroll so we can see this whole thing. And I just like to write down something good or interesting that happened each day, and so I find that a lot of fun. So now it's time to set up April. So I start by looking at my April annual plan, and the only thing I have on April's month is that taxes are due. So I'm almost done with that. Just a couple details to finish on that, and that'll be all done. Now I set my goals for April, and I start with the review of last month as a starting point. So for my OneNote Worthy Life, my blog and business, I do want to finish that About page this month. I have quite a bit of work to do on it, but I've been working on it for a while, and the accident kind of sidetracked me on that. So I want to get that done because I have a lot more projects I want to do. And then this month, I'm hosting my first guest on the Take Note chat. If you're not familiar with that, I'll link to that in the description as well. That's a live video broadcast that I do every month here on YouTube, and I'm hosting my first guest this month. So I was hosting with a co-host, and he has stepped away, and so now I'm hosting my first actual special guest. So I'm really excited about that. She's a terrific guest. And that'll be happening, actually, if you're watching this soon after I post it, that'll be happening in just a few days. The link to that's also in the description. So along with that, now that I'm going to be hosting guests, I want to create a process to make it easy to work with guests. So then my personal goals. So again, I mentioned the calories, which I talked about. So I bumped that up to 270 this month. My sleep, there isn't much to do here. I just want to continue tweaking my bed and wake times so that I can find out what works best for my life. And then in terms of my theme of Be Ready, my biggest focus this month is on the postal mail. That's the snail mail, paper mail that comes in through the postal service. And I really want to get on top of that this month. So I have actually set up kind of an experiment of not only a lot of focus, but I'm actually tracking it on a big wall calendar. You might even be able to see that in the background. I have a whole video on how I set that experiment up, and I will evaluate how well it worked in May's Plan With Me video. But gosh, I would really love to have the mail be more taken care of. I just hate the feeling of having that stuff kind of sitting there unopened and unprocessed and stuff. So I would really like to be free of that burden. And so finally, the April calendar. And I have a few days of this filled in already because I'm filming a little ways into April. And so I think that's it for the month. Having this review and planning process has really helped me feel more capable of handling this medical event that happened. So even though I'm not setting, huge goals this month, I still have confidence that I'm working on the right things and at least making some progress in the areas that I want to. So if you don't have some sort of regular review and planning process, I really encourage you to try it. Even if you start really small, it might be really helpful to you. So if you do have any questions or comments or something you want to see in more detail, you can leave me a comment on this video and I will do my absolute best to get back to you. And if you want to see more videos like this, as well as OneNote tutorials, please subscribe by hitting the subscribe button and let me know you like this video by giving it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.